Hello, hello, hello. I am just admitting everybody in here. Hope everyone's doing good. Thanks for being here. I'm rarely on time, 12:01. Here I am. Let's see. Let everybody in. Just give everybody just a few minutes to get logged in here. Everybody hear me okay? Oh, I can hear feedback. Here we go. Go ahead and drop in that chat box for me if you don't mind. If you can hear me all right. Here we go. Here we go. Hit your mute buttons if you can. Okay, Annie, I want to be able to see everybody. There they are. Oh, good. Okay, a couple more seconds. So if you're all just barely joining me, thank you so much for being here. We are going to discuss the 3 mistakes that you're probably making when working with buyers. Last time I spoke about sellers, so I felt like now is a good time for us to discuss buyers and what's going on across the country. While we're waiting for everybody to get in here, I'll just take a real quick second. Annie, have you got that from now moving forward? Can you admit people from where you're at? Or no? Okay, maybe come hang out or maybe go to my Annie's computer. Okay, we're just trying to get everybody added in here. We had over 150 people sign up for the class today. We had about 110 people try to get in here into the Zoom meeting. So hopefully we're able to get everybody on time. I wanted to say hi right quick. I am going to share some screen slides with you today. So I'm going to be in the little tiny box in the corner, but I like to see all of your faces and I wanted to be able to chat with you all independently. And I love recognizing all the names that are on here. So many people have actually come onto the Facebook group. So I wanted to just mention that right quick. If you haven't joined our Real Estate Talk for Women Facebook group, it's something that I put together in June. And boy, in the last month, we've had over 300 people every single week keep joining our group. So that's really gaining momentum. What's super cool about it is that across the country, we're hearing the similar markets that are happening. So everyone's moving into really fast-paced markets. So if you have an opportunity to hop onto that Facebook group, it's a great opportunity to learn a ton. Like one of the things that I want help with, which I'm going to put it out there right now, is closing gifts are like my nemesis. They drive me bonkers. I hate to think about it. I hate shopping for it. Let's just be honest. Like it's super frustrating to me. I just kind of would like, that was one of my questions and it kind of went dark and really quiet in my Facebook group about it. So I just put in there, like, I want to know what other people are doing. So it's a good way to find out more about what's going on and like any questions that you have. Another really interesting topic that happened last week, which was really cool for all of you newer agents. If you haven't signed on to get your license yet, because I have a lot of new agents that are just looking into getting their license or they're in the middle of their testing, platforms that help you study for your course. I mean, that was something that I had learned. There's a whole bunch of different companies out there, and they'll talk about what the good ones are and which ones that they don't like and the cost of them, so that you don't have to spend your time with all the research. You know me and the whole wasting time thing is super annoying. And if I get on the internet and I start like looking, it's like a rabbit hole for me. So anyway, Facebook group is super cool. If you hop in there, I've approved everybody in there. That's the other fun thing, is I only let in either real estate agents or lenders that actually find us, because I'm only targeting just real estate agents and they're only women. So I have like a couple men that are in my group just because they originally came on. And they happen to be like my team lead or something, just so that they can watch the group. But honestly, it's authentically all women real estate agents, and we're just sharing our best tips. I also put out there in the group today for any of you that are on the call right now looking for a referral for North Carolina. So I love the fact that I can send business across the country, and we're actually spreading into Canada. We have some Canadians on the call today. I mean, there's people from the UK, and I mean, we're getting some you know, some really extensive reach into some different markets. So it's really interesting to find out what's going on in the real estate industry, not just across the country, but around our globe. So it's really, really exciting. Okay, I'm going to dive right into it. Let's see, I've got a lot of information to cover today. You all know that I am not tech savvy. I am not. Oh my gosh, I'm the worst. So during these meetings, my assistant Maddie has, she signed up last year before the pandemic for a architect class. I love her, but she leaves me during these meetings. And Annie is my assistant that helps out with social media. So whenever I refer to Annie, if you guys are confused about who I'm talking to, I'm not talking to Annie if someone's named Annie on the call. I'm talking to the gal who's helping me run our meeting today. So I'm super appreciative of her. So let's get into it. I'm going to be a big girl here and share my screen. Let's see. Here we are. Let me see what you see. Annie, can you see my screen? Share. Can you see, oh, you see my whole slides. That's really pretty. We don't want you to have to be painful and see that. So give me 2 seconds because I don't want to do that. How about now? Do you see just my slide?
No.
Oh, you get to see my full presentation. Yes. That's super fun. We don't want to do that. 2 seconds.
If you click in the top right corner where it says share or present.
2 seconds. Sorry. How about now?
Good. There.
Okay, good. Well, now I can't see my notes, so. So let's see. Give me a second. I just need to minimize this a little bit. Told you I wasn't savvy. Is that okay? You can see my slide, yeah?
Yeah, we can see all the slides.
Okay, hang on 1 sec. 2 seconds, I'm sorry. I'm the worst, for real I am. I heard you laughing. I heard somebody. It's all good. For real. Oh. Okay, presenter view. Okay. So let me see here. Annie, I need your help.
I don't know why it's doing this.
I know, me either. Technical difficulties. Will you do me a favor? If you'll just pull it up on my iPad. And then, okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and wing it off of my slides for a minute. Give me a second.
What's your passcode?
It is 57555. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. So again, so those of you who don't know me, I'm Nicole Briggs. So I've been a real estate agent for 15 years. I'm coming up on my 15th year. The interesting thing about real estate is when you're working with buyers, every single market has something specific or different as far as, you're gonna see my notes for a minute, as far as each market and what it has to offer, okay? I wanted to start with this slide here that's, let's just go ahead and put to bed any of your thoughts that you're having of that my market is a little bit different than yours. Because if you know, and you're in the real estate business long enough, you know that no matter what your market is doing right now, it's cyclical and it will eventually catch up, right? We'll eventually end up in a similar marketplace. So if I'm not accurately explaining your specific market right now, eventually the market will be like this. And the reason why I know this is because as the cycles track, go ahead and look at your history over the last 5 to 10 years, and you'll see that we had recessions, we had the pandemic, we've had a part where like for 13 years, our market continued to just rise for 13 straight years. It just kept continuing upward in an upward trend. But over time, it will eventually, like I'll give you a for instance, California is about 6 months ahead of us. So we track what's going on in California. That's how we know what's going on here in Utah, okay? So if I'm not accurately talking about specifically your market when we're talking about dealing with buyers,
it doesn't give me the option.
Hang on one second. I'll show you.
To do presenter view.
That's okay. I can use the other view.
Oh, you can?
I'm just getting my notes right quick. So yeah, we're good. Okay, so here's the fact, all right? The fact is that each market, regardless of if it's a seller or a buyer market, exposes the need for a specific skill set. Will you fix this view right here and make sure that they have a full view of my screen and they're not seeing my notes? Okay, so it exposes your specific skill sets. And in a buyer's market, or in the what market we're in now, what's trending, the skill sets that are going to be exposed are the following. Hang on, I got to get to my right slide. Mindset, knowledge, and communication. This is so buggy. Sorry, I don't like it when I can't see my notes. Okay, so when you're working with buyers and sellers markets, this means to each of you as an agent that working with buyers is going to expose these skill sets, the mindset, your knowledge, and your communication. Now, if you've been in the business for a bit, these 3 words seem so broad, right? And right about now, you're probably thinking, yeah, no kidding, right, Nicole? I mean, of course, it's going to expose your mindset and your knowledge. However, I put them in these 3 areas because we're going to discuss the 3 mistakes that you're probably making when working with buyers. And I want to be a little bit more specific about this and give you actionable steps that you can take so that you win over and over in your buyer presentations. And ultimately, our goal is to create the raving fans that we're looking for, right? To have that repeat referral evergreen business. So let's just talk for a second. Let me get to this next slide. So I've got to do these independently here. Did that move? Hang on one sec. Good Lord, I'm having an issue here. Get me out of the screen. There we go. Okay, so let's see. Here we go here. So, you can't see my notes, right? Yeah, good. Okay, so if you can relate to this, if you have multiple buyers that you're working with, yet there is little to no inventory in your price range. I mean, does anyone sound familiar there? Additionally, that you're relatively new and you have no idea how to compete in this fast-paced market against agents who have been in the business for decades. You know, the thing is in a market that's as fast-paced as this, it's really interesting how if you're a new agent, it feels like the world is spinning. You're trying to learn how to be in the business, plus you're trying to learn how to sell, okay? So the last part is have you written multiple offers? I wanna just do this. Have you written multiple offers for your buyers and they are either frustrated with the market, the process, or even worse, they're frustrated with you as their agent, okay? Due to your inability to get an offer accepted for them. That is the worst. I don't know about you guys, but I have written multiple offers, and it's really frustrating for us as the agents, but could you imagine being the buyers, right? Super frustrating for them. So we're going to talk about this, the 3 mistakes that you're probably making when you're working with buyers. First off is, and I love this one, and Cindy Anderson, I know, is one of my buyer agents. She's on my call. She said this about another incident. It had nothing to do with real estate, but it really stuck with me. Don't breathe desperation. Like that to me just struck a core for me. So I felt like it was important for us to define what desperation is, okay? Desperation is like a loss of hope and surrender to despair. That's what it says by definition. A state of hopelessness leading to rashness. Don't breathe desperation in a market like this. I know it's fast, I know it's difficult, and I know it's hard, but we definitely don't want to show our clients that we're feeling this way. So here's ways that we can really show our clients how this is affecting them and it's affecting us in our marketplace by saying things like this. You're only qualified for 250,000. There really isn't any inventory out there right now for that. I mean, I don't know, that's not quite the way that we wanted to have a conversation with our clients. Or you're qualified for 250,000, but just so you know, there's multiple offers on every single property. So this market's gonna be a little bit difficult. I mean, here's another one. The inventory is really low right now and the market is really. So delivery is everything, and how you speak to your clients is going to speak volumes over how much they trust you, how much they're willing to listen to you. They're going to take your advice on how to move forward with specific properties. Okay, so how can we improve our mindset in regards to this market when we're working with buyers? Great question, right? Anybody have any ideas as to how we can improve our mindset with regards to the market? Because really it's moving so fast. First of all, I've got some ideas that I really want you have to kind of follow me here because my brain is super expressive, so stay with me. First off would be review your goal. So I don't know about you guys, but I have like a weekly goal. I have a transaction goal every week. So I've told you a million times that goals make me feel nervous or stressed, but I always know that every single week I'm looking for a contract. I'm looking for a buyer, a seller. I'm looking for somebody that wants to do something in real estate. So as long as I keep in my mind my under contract goal per week, I am focused, so laser focused on that I don't have really any time or any effort or any energy to worry about the fact that, hey, 135 homes were listed in the last week and 165 went under contract. I mean, because I don't know about you, but that number does not make sense. Like, it blows my mind how that number doesn't make sense. So for me, my best advice to you is break down your business, figure out what your transaction goal is for the year, and then how many do you need to have each week? How many do you have to have each month? Okay. So the second one would be educate yourself on the market. Look at how many went pended last week. In my market, so I pulled the numbers on this a couple days ago when I did these slides. In my market, I had, let me think. I don't know. There was like 130 or 140 houses that went pended last week. Guess what? In my mindset, I know I only need one. I just need one. So keeping our mindset right that 145 or 150 agents are doing business, and guess what? They got a contract signed. You know, I know it seems super, super harsh, but really it's just to keep your head focused and to keep your mindset right. That like, look at, if you have trouble wondering what's going on in the marketplace, look at how many went under contract last week. And that will show you somebody selling properties. We just want it to be us, right? We just want one. So the third one is role play your buyer presentation. Practice what you will say to your buyers when they are pre-qualified so that you don't sound desperate. Okay. The worst thing is, because I coach agents, right? I have 5 buyer agents that I coach. The worst thing that you can do is, so I got this buyer and they came in on this lead. I was super excited. I sent them over to the lender. They got pre-qualified and they called me and they said they're only pre-qualified for 250. Like, it's so hard. 250 is so rough. Yeah, it is. But I look at it as an opportunity. So at 250, which agents do I know that specialize in townhouses? Which agents do I know that carry a lot of inventory right now that are high listing agents that carry an inventory of about 65 to 85 listings all the time? Who are those people? They're now my friends. They are my best friends. I make a phone call. Hey, you know, Mark, I was just calling to let you know I have this buyer teed up for 250,000. I just was wondering, they're pre-qualified, ready to go. Do you have anything coming on in the market in the next 5 or 10 days? If not, keep me in mind because I want your listing. Like, I want to make an offer on that property. You know, I do this every single day for my clients, or like just a second ago, a property came on for one of our clients and immediately I'm like, prepare an offer, get things written up. We'll go see it later on this afternoon. Like, I know I'm going to call that agent right now, let them know I've got a client that's interested and we're going to make an offer here in the afternoon. Okay. So make sure that you practice your presentation when they say we're pre-qualified for 250,000. I want you to be able to sound like you are excited for them and you're enthused. So I'm going to give you a challenge. Express gratitude for this market, because if you are a listing agent or you're carrying a listing, you definitely weren't complaining that it sold really, really fast. Okay, so when you're in the brokerage, when you're around your team, when you're around your family, however it is that you express how you're feeling about the marketplace, remember the most important person is listening, and it's you. Okay, when you're complaining about the market, you're listening, and you're the real estate agent who is supposed to go out there and crush it for the week. So instead of saying, you know, this market is so fast and it's really difficult, let's start changing our mindset a little bit. I'm 100% grateful for the way the market is right now, because let me tell you why. This, for all of you new agents or for agents that are buyer agents on a team, as a buyer agent, I was able to build a 6-figure business by just strictly working with buyers. And in 3 to 5 years, they became my repeat referral business, because eventually they sold, they made a move up. They were my next client, then they were my next client, right? So I have clients that are 3, 4, or 5 homes deep, and it's all because I worked with them as a buyer when they bought their first property. So this kind of market that you're in is such a huge opportunity. Whatever you can do to work with those buyers, they will forever be your repeat referral business, because you got them in, excuse me, you got them under contract in a super fast-paced market, and they're super grateful for you. Okay, I love buyer agent markets because I started as one. All right, super fun. So let's see, the real estate industry is really, really interesting. The reason I began doing this is because I'm never going to be in your marketplace, right? I'm never moving to Mississippi. Oh my gosh, I'm choking. I need a water. You have me water. I'm never moving to Mississippi. I'm never moving to Denver. I'm not moving anywhere, you know, that I could be your competition, right? So those of you outside of Utah, I love sharing all my stuff, and I love giving you everything that I have. And even for my Utah agents that are here on the call, which I have a ton, I have a lot that are on here that are from St. George area. I love sharing with you. Like, I don't mind sharing my information. We all have, you know, good, positive and benefits to our personalities, and no one's ever going to, you know, get the same information twice. So just know anything that I share on here is open for everybody, because, you know, as real estate agents, we learn by sharing. So the second mistake is establishing value in using an agent. The number one reason why people, well, let me just ask you this. How many on the call today have had a lead that wants to work directly with a listing agent because they think they're going to get a better deal? That happened to me last week. I want to work with the listing agent because they're going to give me a discount. Hey, by the way, they're not going to give you a discount. They're just going to take both sides of the transaction, right? Or after working with a client, they end up walking into a builder without you. How many people have had that happen? Hit up in the chat box, make sure that I'm alive. Y'all can hear me, right? So how many people have had either of those situations happen in this market that's moving super, super fast? Crazy. It is incredible how people will go around us if we're not careful. In the group, I'm gonna stop right quick. In the group I shared, if you join the Facebook group, you'll see my the information I shared, but we had to create a card. Where's my camera? I gotta see myself because I can't see what I'm sharing. Okay, I created a card that looks like this. So if you go to my Facebook group, you'll get it. And you'll see what it says. Touring homes today is what it says. And on the back is a picture. And on the back it says, great news. Your development or expertise in new construction homes has been recommended by Team Search, Keller Williams St. George. Please add their contact information as my representation. And it says on there the client's name, the agent name, which is me, and my phone number. So I handwrite these in for my clients. And when I'm in my buyer presentation, I literally say, just so you know, I know you're looking at resale homes, which is fantastic. Here's what's happened to me before. Is that you're out on a Sunday drive, you're driving around and you decide, hey, let's pop into this model home right quick. I'd love to get some design ideas. Sounds great, right? Super fun on a Sunday stroll. Well, the listing agent at the model home has now talked my clients into putting money down on a lot, and they have just cut me out of the deal because it was a Sunday and I just lost them. In our marketplace, Some of our builders will not use us or allow us to be used as a representation. So we designed a card for our clients to take, and I literally give this to them in their presentation when I'm doing a buyer presentation. So just a little tidbit for you there. Us as agents know why that they should use us, why clients should use us, but do we really know how to articulate effectively to the client why they need to use us as a real estate agent? If someone says to you, why should I use an agent, and you can't answer it just like that, we need to practice it. The reason why you should use this is because I'm a professional. I'll give you all the information that you need to know about the property. You know, why else? Show value. The only reason why they go around you is because they don't see value in what you do. So what would be some of the reasons, some of the other reasons why a buyer would want to do this? If it's completely free to them to use you as a buyer's agent. I'll give you 3 that I've come across. The seller, of course, will save the commission, and then that way the seller can have more money. We all know that that is not the case. Our numbers are put up on the MLS, and I explain this to them when I'm in the buyer appointment. On the MLS, it shows them exactly how much a buyer agent is going to make on every single property. So even if you go to them specifically, if they bring them a buyer, there's a contractual obligation already to that commission. We have to do a good job about explaining this. The second reason why they go around you is competitive edge. They think that their offer will be accepted if they went through the listing agent instead of through you. Okay. And the last one would be they're going to get insight. You know, if they're getting multiple offers, if I make my offer with the listing agent, they'll take mine. All right. We definitely need to be better about giving them the value that we provide as their agents. So when you receive a buyer lead, before you even show them a home, do the following. Are you ready? It's like mind blowing, and you guys are going to think that I am so elementary, but I'm not joking. Bring them to the office for an appointment. Bring them to the office for the appointment. Okay, I know that sounds super elementary, but I know many of you will, as soon as they say, I want to go see a property, you're going to run to your car, and then you go and you open the door. All right. So at that point, what you are is you're a door opener. They don't need you because they already saw the house. All right. So in the buyer appointment, it's super important that we do a couple things. My favorite one is, well, we're not really interested in any other things. We just want to see that one particular property. Okay, good. So let me tell you what I say. That sounds fantastic. However, there's a couple things that are interesting about the property that I found when I was doing a little bit of research. Is there a good time that you could stop in between like 5 and 5:30 that we can discuss it? Or when's a good time that you can drop into the office? I've got time between 5 and 6. I didn't give them an option to say yes or no. I found I found out some important information about the property. I'd like for you to come in and take a look. My office is right downtown. It'll take about 5 or 10 minutes. Are you close by? I literally do not give them a yes, no question. If I said it to them this way, well, I was wondering if you could come into a buyer appointment. No. No, I can't, I'm busy. Okay, good, I'm busy too, right? Don't give them a reason to say no, all right? The buyer appointment is super important. I'll give you a for instance right quick. We had a client call up and say they wanted to go see a weekly nightly rental. So if you guys have weekly night rentals in your marketplace, you guys know that they're full, they're busy, and you can't get into them. They're super hard to show. At least in our area, they are. They're full. Thanks to COVID. Everybody wants to come visit St. George, Utah, which is interesting. So as they're full, I said to her, well, okay, why don't you do me this favor? Like, I can pull up the property and I'll send it over to you. However, are you available this evening from 5 to 5:30 so that we can discuss the property? I've got a couple others I'd like to show you. So what I did was I just told her I've got more that I want to show her. I'm not sending them in an email. I'm not. We're going to sit down at the office. So I brought them into the office. They sat down. We got them to sign agency disclosure because they have to sign a buyer agency agreement with us, right? And we ended up writing an offer the next day. Okay, on a property that they had actually already seen with the agent that they walked through. I didn't even know them then, but I took up representation that night. And when I called the agent the next day to say, hey, I just want to let you know I was sending over an offer, he's like, oh, I didn't know that they were working with an agent. Well, the reason why you didn't know is because you didn't ask, which I asked her when you saw that property with that agent, did he ask you if you were working with an agent? She said, no. She's like, I said, did you sign anything? She said, no. Okay, great. sign here. So she signed it with me. So when I sent the offer over, hey, just want to let you know, like I do have agency with them. So it's no longer a commission issue, okay? It's so important for you to get your agency agreement signed. For all of you new agents that are on the call, there are agents out there. If you want to know how to compete against a savvy agent that's been a professional for a long time, learn to get a buyer rep signed immediately. You'll beat out an agent that's been in the business a long time because they think that they've got it down and they don't need to do it. But get in a really good habit. It's a great habit to have. Okay, the next thing would be winging it. So the first one was mindset, right? The second one is communication with your buyer. Your third one is winging it. I always refer to winging it, sorry. So the real estate industry, okay, wait, here we go. So not having a buyer rep, okay, here we go. Not having a buyer representation or a buyer presentation is a presentation. That is such a painful thing for me to think about. So it's just one that's just not duplicatable, repeatable, systematic, which I am definitely not many of those things. I'm definitely not a systematic person. Y'all know I'm expressive. This may work every once in a while, but I call this winging your presentation. So you'll know if you're present. So the question is how will you know if your presentation is effective? So if you track your results, that's the only really way that you know how to do it. So just wondering if any of you track your buyer appointments that you set, your buyer appointments that you attend, your buyer broker agreements that you get signed, your buyers that you close, and your buyer broker agreements that you have canceled. One more thing that I actually track on here that's not here is my offers that fell out. So I don't know about you guys, but I know I had one deal last year fall out. My numbers are pretty high. Like when I write an offer, it's going to close. That means a lot to a lot of people, especially to the fellow realtors that I work with, that they know when I send an offer, it's going to happen. It's going to go through. I rarely have offers fall out. If you don't track this, you don't know. You're winging it. Okay. I've shared this before and I don't have it on here to share, but if you, I don't know, would it be helpful? Raise a hands. Would it be helpful if I shared with you a tracking sheet? Would it be helpful? I'll be happy to. Okay. Raise your hands here. Okay, so maybe if you wouldn't mind just dropping your email in the chat box so that we can screenshot this at the end. If you would like a copy of my tracking sheet, I've shared it before, but I'll share it again. I keep track of appointments set, appointments attended, closed. I mean, literally, if you can keep track of this for 30, 60, 90 days, you would be shocked at how much you would improve your presentation. Okay. Oops, somebody's in the waiting area. There we go. Okay, so just to recap here, let me go back to that. Let's talk a little bit about the tracking. So along with tracking your buyer presentations, the reason also that I do this is if you are in a brokerage and you get coached or you're paying a coach right now and you're not paying attention to how many appointments you attend, how do you know what your closing ratio is? Like you don't, right? So if you're not following a systematic presentation style and you're not delivering the information in a way that they're understanding it or in a systematic way every single time, how do you know which part of your presentation is flawed? Okay, so the tracking sheet that I'll share is going to track your daily activities, and it will and if you'll keep track of that, like I said, you'll be floored at the results that you'll get on that. So recap. So the mindset is not breathing desperation. Okay. You need to make sure when you're speaking with your buyers, hey, I just got qualified for 250,000. That is fantastic. Like really don't get numb to the fact that we're real estate agents and that we sell real estate every single day. Having home ownership is such a dream for people that we take it for granted that we do it every single day. So when they say they're pre-qualified for 250, that is fantastic. That is a great entry level home for you. I'm so excited for you. This is going to be really, really great. In the back of my mind, I know this is going to be tough for me. I'm going to have to, step up my game. I'm going to have to make some phone calls, but by damn, I'm going to make sure that those people get a house. I'm very, very persistent and I'm very, very relentless when it comes to making sure that I get my clients under contract. Okay. So don't breathe the desperation. The second one is knowledge, establishing the value in working with an agent. The only reason why your clients are going around you in this marketplace as a buyer, as a buyer's agent, is because they don't see the value in what you have. So let's talk about a couple areas that we get business, because I think that's important. Right now across the country, we're getting a ton of leads. We get 150 to 200 leads a month on internet leads. Okay. So when you're dealing with an internet lead, how do we get them on board, right? Because you can't just pull them in for an appointment. You can't just call them up and, you know, hey, meet me at the office. They're over the phone. So we need to make sure that your skills are on point for setting up that expectation and then letting them know, hey, we're going to go ahead and do a FaceTime. Thank goodness we have FaceTime, right? We're all walking through properties right now, FaceTiming because of COVID or whatever, but you're going to let them know how the process is going to happen. This is what's going to happen. When I see a property and it comes on the market, I'm going to call, email, blow up your phone because this property is a good one. And I'm going to walk you through it. I'll let you know, see if you're available on FaceTime, and let's walk through the property together. If it's something that you feel like you like, we'll go ahead and make an offer, and you have 2 weeks to come here and decide whether or not it's something that you want to move forward with. But this is a good one. Okay. I literally will say that to clients. So making sure that you have knowledge about the market and what's going on so that you can convey that to them is how you're going to gain the buyer's rapport to make sure that they want to work with you. And then if they live in the town, don't go show property without having an agency rep agreement signed. If you're trying to give the highest level of service, what level of service would you be giving them if you're not representing them? You know, think about it that way. I know some people have a hard time asking for them to sign a representation agreement. If someone doesn't want to sign that, okay, next. That's fine. Like really move on to the next, right? There's so many buyers out there right now, move on to the next. It's very important, but your delivery is everything. The last one is your buyer presentation, if you're winging it. How many people have a systematic buyer presentation? Like they literally, when they get a buyer appointment, by raise of hands, let's see, let me get my chat box up. By raise of hands, how many people actually say, okay, I got a buyer appointment today, and they can turn to the left, pull out what they need for their presentation, aside from putting together comps, and they can just go to the presentation. Anybody? It's hard. It is not easy. The progression of my buyer presentations are really sad. I would tell you to keep your very first ones, because 10 or 15 minutes or years later, you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I actually did that. So your buyer presentation is super important. So if you're new in the business and you're feeling, you know, overwhelmed, I completely get it. I totally understand. If you've been in the business 3 to 5 years and that you still struggle with your sales presentation, totally understand that too. I think I didn't even put a buyer presentation together until my 5th year. I didn't even know I needed one. So it's interesting that in our market, and this is kind of why I started mentoring, is because I worked in the listing agent only office, they had this really great canned presentation for me to learn on a listing presentation. But when it came to buyers, nobody told me anything. Just go show a house. If they like it, hopefully they'll write an offer. That sounds great. So anyway, I had to figure it out for a long time. So imagine if you knew how to confidently communicate and pitch to your clients why you're the right person and quite possibly only agent for the job. You know, just imagine if you were able to do that. Second is you no longer felt like you're afraid of talking about sales numbers, sounding like a sales, you know, icky salesperson. That drives me bonkers. I don't like it when I'm feeling like I'm getting sold to. So this is where that social agent comes in. So hopefully everybody understands that by having a process, you'll be able to focus on what's most important instead of worrying so much about trying to put things together. You're going to focus on the client, which is the most important. You no longer have to struggle through your presentations, that you had full access to a professional buyer and seller presentations, because that's actually what I've worked on and what I'm going to give you today. That's what I'm delivering for everybody today is the opportunity to opt into our social agent by social agent program. So for those of you, if you needed any tools or you don't have the resources or you are looking for those skill sets that are necessary to get hired almost every time, like honestly, my seller and my buyer presentations, I rarely walk out without either the listing or a buyer agency agreement signed. This is what I'm offering today is the social agent sales process. It's been a super fun program to put together. it's a lengthy program, which it was supposed to be just, hey, it'd be great as if we offered our seller presentation and my buyer presentation. And then it turned into, yeah, but along with the buyer presentation and the sales presentation has to be pricing and delivering how to effectively price property and how to deliver to the clients what the price is. Because what if they object? Like all of those fun things. That's kind of how this all evolved. So I have a complete online course that's for realtors outlining how to craft a winning sales process that converts buyers. And I'm also offering the seller side too today. My seller presentation and my buyer presentation is really interactive, and it actually is something that you can, what's it called, Annie, where like in, you can have, it's fully customizable. So it's actually a template. So if you know how to drag and drop and you're not like me and you can't find your notes on your Zoom call, that's me. If you know how to drag and drop, this is really, really great. And I actually am going to screen share and show you inside kind of what it looks like. But it talks about building confidence. I've got all the scripts that are in there for my presentations. Crafting a pitch that just, I say that it rocks, but I'm telling you, I rarely have anyone say, I don't really want to list for that price. And the reason why is because the system and the flow that you deliver the information. So leading the client into where they need to be. Sales is an interesting thing. So when you're working with a buyer and seller, we all know the end result is either A, to list a property, or B, to get the buyer to write an offer, right? Those are our two end goals. So creating that roadmap to get them where you want to be, handling all their objections along the way. But I always know where we're going to end up. Okay. And so I've laid out a way for you to price property and for you to work with buyers so that you'll get them exactly where you are wanting them. And they don't know it and they enjoy it. And it's a good program. I'll teach you how to sell them. So it's interesting that I'm always telling you this, in real estate, you're always selling. Even when you're walking them through the property, you're selling. When you're writing an offer and they're sitting in front of you, you're selling. Okay. You have to keep in mind it's showtime. When I come home from an appointment at night, my husband's like, why are you so tired? All you did was showed 5 houses. Okay. Well, they were in my car for like 3 hours and I'm tired because when they're in your car, am I wrong? But they are rapid fire asking you questions like, so tell me about this area. So tell me about this. So tell me about that. That is you being on your game 24/7 when you're, when you're on a buyer or listing appointment. The objection handlers, strategy for pricing property. I love the strategy for pricing property. It's a little challenge in a seller market because how many people are, when you pull up the active listings, I pulled up the active yesterday and there were 5. I had 5 houses to show between 250,000 and 300,000 in 2 cities with 3 beds, 2 baths. There were 5. That just is like mind-blowing to me. Anyway, so your presentation flow, how do you start from beginning to end? So the presentation flow is, do you start with the comps? Do you start with what you offer from your company? Do you start with your marketing plan? Like, what's the most systematical way to present your information so that it ends with a contract signed? All those things are so interesting. Like I said, the packets are customizable. I give you the closes that I use. Like one of my most favorite ones is, if you don't have any other questions, all I need is a signature right here so I can get started on my side. That was rough. That was hard. It wasn't what do I say next? Do you want to sign the contract? That's a terrible close. It's just leading them up to next. If you don't have any other questions, all I need is a signature here so that I can get my, my side started. Real simple. So following my path to crafting and organizing your sales presentation, I guarantee that you're going to be pitching like a champ for sure. So the enrollment for this closes on February 5th. So I just want to be really, really sure you'll have time to kind of look into it and you'll have time to decide whether or not you want to do it. Today, though, I am offering, these are all the things that the curriculum includes, like I just went through. It's everything that I use on my program. So all my people that are from St. George, you're going to see my seller presentation and my buyer presentation, which is totally fine. Normally this course would have been offered at $495 because I do have like a full program that's my show up program. And that's the amount that we put it to. But today I'm offering it for $99 for the buyer and for the listing side. So anyhow, so that's going to be the price for it. And we're only offering it right now. I'm definitely going to increase it probably to 250 or 300 once this program closes, but I'm actually not going to launch it until I launch my show up again. So until February 5th, it's going to be $99. And of course, it includes all of those things that I gave you. I'm going to show you a screenshot of what it looks like on the inside here in a second. But for those of you who want to take it to the next level, so many people have asked me if I do one-on-one coaching. So I think that's super nice. And it's so nice of you guys to ask. And I offer it. Typically, I offer it at $250 an hour. With this program, if you decide to purchase it, I offer the one-on-one coaching, one call, which I really want to get on the call with you. If you want to talk about something different, it's totally fine. But I really want to talk about this program with you. If you do the one-on-one, how to introduce your stuff. I'd rather you put together your presentation before you call me so that we can really talk about the delivery. Because I feel like that's what I'm best at, is getting the confidence and giving you the confidence so that you can deliver the program and the property and the seller and the buyer packets in the way that they need to be. Anyhow, so the social agent sales process plus a one-on-one call, I'm offering it for, what was the total? It's going to be, normally it's $745 total, but we're offering it the $199.
I'm inserting the link right now.
Oh, and so Annie's going to go ahead and drop that link in there. So just so you know, if you want to do the one-on-one coaching, there's a small box at checkout. And you can just go ahead and add it right there. So there's those two. Let me get my screen share. Don't be scared about the screen share. I'll have those all for you tomorrow morning, all the videos on how to get it done. So for staying on the call with me today, I'm offering you 15% off on the Social Star. So if you'll use that Social Star code at checkout, you'll get 15% off, just so you know. So thanks for staying on for so long. I'm going to give you an inside look. Hang on one second. Let's see. Well, maybe I will. You know me. Maybe I will. Here it is. Okay, can you see that? Oh, good. Okay, so here's what you can, I give you a video of what to expect, your winning seller's pitch, crafting your seller's packet, strategies for pricing property, the seller pitch framework, and then it's time to go ahead and pitch. And this is where I'll actually give you a live presentation. On the buyer side, crafting your buyer packet, your buyer framework, and then setting your buyer's expectations. That is my most favorite thing. This is where you lead your client. And this is really like one of my specialties that I just love doing. Let me go back. Also, the pitch it right is also going to be my delivery. I'm just going to give you a live presentation. And then we're going to do a wrap up. There's 2 bonuses that I'm including, which is going to be the scripting and the buyer and seller under contract checklist. So I actually have a checklist flow for those of you that are a newer agent and you want to know like how the system goes for once you put a property under contract. It also is something that you can do with your transaction coordinator to set reminders. So those are just a couple little bonuses that I offered. So anyway, so that's pretty much the seller's presentation and the buyer presentation for the for our social agent. Just remember that the link right there, Maddie just dropped, is going to be in the bio. I wanted to open it up for some questions if you have any. So if you have a second, let me stop sharing my screen for a quick second. Does anybody have any questions about kind of what we talked about today? It's a lot of information to cover, and sorry, the first of it was kind of mumbled with trying to get my slides together, but the buyer side of the transaction is how I built my business. There's so many people out there that will tell you being a listing agent is the best way to build. But I'm also on the other side of the fence where I can tell you that I built a business on being a buyer's agent. And I built a repeat referral business there. Let's see, I wanted to get into your questions here. Let's see. Oh, I love someone was telling me how to screen share. Okay, so a couple requests to join the Facebook group, which is fantastic. And then anyone else have, let's see, some of the questions. Never thought of having a presentation for buyers before. Someone had posted in the group chat. I'm sure you all saw that. Crazy that we don't have one. So going into the buyer appointment is so much, like I know once I get them in that room, we're done. Like I know for sure I'm getting a contract signed. By the way, they're not leaving my office till we get a contract signed on the buyer rep agreement. If you're going to make a time to sit down, make sure it's effective. I'm all about saving time. I got kids at home, or I've got my husband at home that needs me there. So I try really hard to be as efficient as I possibly can. I love you, Kirby Beaver, if you're still on here. It's like Christmas again. I love you. So she was one of my agents that signed up for one of my one-on-one coaching calls. And we chatted a bit about her team. She manages a team of agents in Arizona. So she was really super fun to talk with. Strategizing on those one-on-one calls is so much fun. I really, really enjoy that. Okay, Kirby, I'll see you inside. I saw you just signed up. How long do you have buyers sign an agency representation agreement? Someone put, I make mine 6 months. I have a standard. I've always asked them to sign 6 months, but when I put that in there and I tell them it's 6 months, I tell them, I already showed you what the market is doing. We're gonna have you under contract in the next 30 to 60 days. So the 6 months is just a protection. What happens if it goes south, or what happens if they go around you? You wanna have your buyer rep agreement, available. So it covers you for all the work that you did. I wouldn't do them any shorter, even in a fast market like this. And then the discount code, we got that in there as Social Star. Anybody else have any additional questions? Like if there is any side of the transaction that I love and I love sharing, it's about the buyer side of the present, or the buyer side of the transaction. I feel like that's where you have a huge advantage to build that repeat referral business that you're wanting, because you've got their ear. You're helping them, buy a home. You're helping them put their stake in the ground, which is super important. So in this market, if you can capitalize on those buyers while the market has a frenzy going on, is going to be what's going to sustain you for the next 5 to 10 years. And have a goal in mind. Like literally, when I'm in my buyer presentation, I tell them, I love this house as much as you do. I have to love it as much as you, because when you call me in 3 to 5 years and you want to sell it, and I tell you, oh, sorry, we can't sell the house because it runs right behind a freeway, you're going to be mad at me, right? Because I sold it to you. So I literally am invested in my buyers so much, because I know I put in their mind, you're going to call me in 3 to 5 years, to sell the house. I'm already setting the stage for after we close, you're going to use me again. So those are the fun things I get to talk about if we do some one-on-one coaching. Anyhow, so just to wrap up, so that's the Social Star, is the code, and that's our social agent. Oh, one more question here. Let's see, just relocated to a new state. I'm taking the courses for the exam. Where do you suggest to start networking or obtaining clients? Oh, I love that so much. Okay, Vanessa, where are you? I've got to find you so I can talk to you. I see you, where are you? My goodness. Can't see you. Unmute your mic. Oh, there you are. Cute, cute. Okay. So the first thing I would do is, if you moved into a new area, first of all, you need to lean into your team lead. What brokerage are you at?
I have not picked a brokerage yet, but I'm aiming for KW in the Woodlands.
Oh, you're leaning towards KW. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. And what was your profession before? What did you do before?
Real estate agent in California.
Oh, good. So you've done this before. How long were you a realtor in California? Oh, I can't hear you. How long were you a realtor, Vanessa, in California? Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, damn, I can't hear you. Okay, here's my best advice. So first of all, are your social medias set up? I can't hear you, but maybe you can hit it in the chat. Are your social medias set up? Okay.
Yeah, she just needs to put it in the chat.
I can't hear you, dang it. I know you're trying to talk to me, but I can't hear you. Okay, so I'll actually reach out to you, Vanessa. If you'll drop me your email in there, and then I'll get on an email with you, and I can just do a quick one-on-one over the phone. But if you're new to an area, the first thing that you got to do is just start prospecting. So I would start meeting a couple of the lenders. I'd go meet a couple of the title companies that are in your area and let them know, introduce yourself and let them know that you're new to the area. I'd also get on my social media and start up a business page that's specific to your area. Make sure that your city is included in your handle. For all of you that stayed on this call and you have Instagrams If you don't have your business Instagram up and you don't have it ready, go through my feed because I give lots of tips on your Instagram, but get your social media set up. And then as you start to live in that area and you start to shop and you start to be in that area, make sure that you're taking photos and you're posting about local areas so that you can start getting to know some of the small business owners in the area. And then once you post about them, they'll reshare about you. Okay, that's you getting your community. That's the broad reach, right? And then on the local level, start in those groups, start getting your networking going. The lender is going to be a super big person for you to have on board with you, to tell them that you're new to the area and you need to start finding clients. Another thing that you can do is lean into, if you go to KW, lean into your team lead and ask them if there's any top producers that are in their marketplace that have an overflow of leads that you could pay them a referral fee. Huge. Why pay for leads when you don't need to? I can hear you now. Why pay for leads if you don't need to? Ask them if they've got top producers right now, have extra leads or leads that are just falling through the cracks. Tell them that you'll work for a referral fee. It's better than no fee, right? Lots of ways that you can start up and get some business going, but I'm happy to chat further if you want to shoot me an email or DM, okay? Any more questions about that?
There's one more question.
Okay, let's see. About a buyer's book. What was that again? Let's see. Do you have a buyer's booklet that you provide to buyers you meet? I'm creating a new one and would love to see yours. That's in my social agent. That is my buyer. I do have a buyer packet that's in there that's completely customizable. That's part of my program. I definitely have one. I definitely use it, and that's what I'm sharing today. So in that link that she just dropped in there, the NicoleBriggs.com/social agent, that will take you to the checkout page so that you can have access to mine if you'd like. But I absolutely would never walk into a buyer meeting without my presentation. No way. I would feel naked, for real. I wouldn't even know, what are we going to chat about, but in there, I definitely set the stage for how it's going to go, how the buyer presentation is going to go. Oh, and by the way, let's talk about this real fast. How long should a buyer presentation and a seller presentation last, right? Like if you're spending 2-3 hours at a seller's house for a listing appointment, too long. It takes you 10-15 minutes to walk through the property. You should be able to sit down and present in 30 to 40 minutes. That's explaining comps, that's explaining your marketing plan, that's explaining your documentation that you need to have signed, setting up photography, whatever you're going to do is set the listing appointment, but anything over an hour is too long, okay? So you get really, really good at being efficient and delivering your information effectively. Let's see, is the $99 price just a one-time charge or monthly? Oh, one time, just one time. Yeah, I don't do monthly things unless we put together our show up program, and then we'll do a paid plan for that. But this one's just a one-time charge. Good question. Sorry about that. If I had my notes, I probably would have covered that. But today I'm winging it, which really is super fantastic. So anyway, so if nobody has any other questions, I appreciate you all being here. Again, the social agent is going to be open until February 5th. And then at that time, we're going to close it. And then my full course, that's like my start to finish show up course, we're putting that out. We're going to be launching that here in about a month and a half, which is my signature course, which we're adding to all the time for my gals that are on the call that have already purchased it. We add to that quite often, and we're going to be redoing all those videos, which is super fun, and adding more content. I learned by talking to you all and you guys giving me really great feedback. So if there's something that you feel like you need and that you're not getting or that wasn't answered in here, I am the most active person on this call on Instagram. I think I am, next to Annie. Annie might be more active than I am, but I absolutely love chatting with you guys, and especially in that Facebook group. It's been really great to get to know the additional 900 people that have come on in the last couple of weeks. It's been really, really fun. So hopefully if you don't have any other questions for me, you all are so welcome. Oh, how long is the training? Months, weeks, etc. Oh, so this is just a couple of video courses.
Like go at your own pace.
Yeah, kind of a go at your own pace kind of a thing. If we're talking about the social agent, the training is just as fast as you want to go through the videos. Each video is about 6 to 10 minutes long, because the presentations aren't really long at all. Those are the longest ones, is showing you, the flow when I do an actual buyer appointment or an actual seller appointment. But really, I keep it very persistent and very, concise. It's as fast as you want to move through it. Of course, Colette, love you. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. If you have any additional questions, let me know. You'll all get a copy of this recording. So if you missed something or you came late to the meeting, it'll be on there. Hope you guys have a fabulous week and you get your contract signed. Again, 1 a week. That's my goal. Hopefully you guys are the 1 a week kind of agents too. It's a lofty goal, but I promise you, you'll hit 50 transactions in a couple of years if you'll stay consistent. If you're a new agent, just keep your head down and go to work and keep working. So thanks everyone for being here. See you later.